tourists from around the world, and to get them in, they realize the importance of customer stroke guest service.
Hmm.
I mean, London is a historical city, and they've been entertaining people for hundreds of years. So they're way ahead of the game. The difference is that when you have a new emerging city as Dubai, and it's very much focused on becoming one of the best cities in the world in terms of hospitality, and they focus on it, put lots of resources towards that. You notice that they're catching up really, really quickly, but also based on the fact that you have a lot of professional hospitality people in the Middle
Yeah.
East, Dubai, makes a big difference, because when you go to London, unfortunately, because of Brexit and things like that, the impact on the service standards is
Yeah.
quite noticeable, because unfortunately there isn't enough of the Brits who have a real desire to go into hospitality. And part of hospitality is doing all of those cleaning jobs as well.
Hmm.
That's a really important part of hospitality, because you need to have establishments that are pristine, clean constantly, because you want people to, dine in environments that look the part.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
so I think, unfortunately, whilst London is a amazing city, in terms of because of certain political issues or decisions, you can notice that the standards in hospitality, unfortunately, is dropping compared to Dubai. They've got a totally different immigration policy. And I think there it's still working really, really well. An interesting comparison to when we went to Qatar. They were so behind. The
Really?
service was awful, because they've obviously had one they won the rights to host the World Cup, maybe 10 years ago. But in 10 years, whilst they're building all of these impressive buildings to try and host the World Cup, what I think that they didn't take into consideration, that yes, you're going to need a whole X amount of people to be able to actually run these venues.
Mm.
And because it didn't grow organically, and it's like all of a sudden there's going to be a million people coming into our country in 8 years' time. But they can't get a million people trained in these venues in advance, can they? Because the people are not there. So the real training can only come when the influx of people arrive, and then you are there to then try and deal with them in terms of give them guest service. And
Yeah.
honestly, the service was so awful in the restaurants. In terms of the hospitality of the people and stuff, when you're going to the matches, and they had like thousands of stewards, and that was all good. But that real skilled customer service
Mm.
was not there. So, in a nutshell, it's really interesting to understand the dynamic of how decisions at the highest level, on a political level, whether it be something like a Brexit, and that people at the time of Brexit, did they really think about Brexit's going to affect customer service in all these hospitality venues around the country? No, they didn't.
Definitely
They
not.
didn't. They didn't make any. That probably didn't even cross their minds. But it's very interesting to see how that landscape is changing. And I think that I don't really know what the answers are, but the answers were there already all those years ago, in terms of there's certain jobs that unfortunately the indigenous population, they're just not that interested in.
Mm.
And those jobs were taken up by those that wanted to come in to develop the standard of living and lives in the UK. Now that's obviously changed a lot. So hence the hospitality sector is really suffering.
Yeah.
And compound that with obviously all the other things that we know that exist today in terms of energy bills and cost and this, that, and the other. It just meaning that I'm not really too sure what the future is going to hold, because when you start business all those years ago, when we started business, we never the energy cost they were never even considered as a cost. It's just a fixed cost. It's just what it is, and we never thought about it. And then they started to increase and increase and they became a lot more prominent. Oh, here you go. Here's Ammar. I think he must have
Sorry,
must
we're in
have
the car.
escaped and
I know what happened. We're in the car. Can you hear me?
yes. Good morning, loud and clear, Ammar.
Good morning. In the car, we have so the ambassador's potentially going to join the call as well. In the call, we have the wonderful Bunty Malhotra and the amazing Nicola Hutchinson. Please, you're live on air. This is the radio show. You're beaming across to thousands of people. They were unaware. I'll turn the camera off. That they were going to be literally hijacked onto a radio show. I'm clearly doing something that I shouldn't. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Stop video. There we go. I was doing that whilst I was stationary.
Good. Well, it's good to have you both on the show. And how did the meeting go, Ammar?
No, it was wonderful. So just for everyone's benefit, we're live on air as well on Spice FM. Is that right?
Yes.
Right. Okay. So I'm gonna suggest that Nicola, do you want to grab the phone for a second and introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, I'm Nicola Hutchinson and I'm the Chief Executive of the Academic Health Science Network. So our role is to support innovation in the health service.
Excellent.
Yeah. Bunty, say hello.
Hi, very good morning. I'm Bunty Malhotra, Chief Executive of Malhotra Group PLC. Obviously, one of the sectors that gets reported to me is the care. Hence, I'm delighted to be Nicola in the car. And thanks, Ammar, for shocking us into the live air show. It's full of surprises. As soon as I sat in the car, he said, "Do you mind? We're going to be on a show," not realizing that what he meant was a live radio show. So I hope you found us well. Ammar is also doing the driving, so I'm holding. I'm holding the telephone while he's engaging with yourself.
Excellent. Well, look, I think that's the beauty of our show. I think it is live, and our guests I'm sure they'll be pleasantly surprised to have esteemed guests like yourself on the show this morning. So the meeting today then, was that all about the health sector and how you can improve it, develop it, or build better relations with India on that regard?
No, it will be. So just so you know, so this morning we met with all of the trade bodies and representative agencies. So CBI and the Invest Newcastle, Invest Northeast. We had the mayor of Gateshead and the discussions, and Newcastle Airport and various other individuals. I'm probably not going to be able to, because I'm getting slightly old, remember them all. But it was a great turnout. We took them to the Northern Counties Club and hosted both the ambassador and the Consul General there to highlight and discuss the strengths of our wonderful region. And we're now driving down to Darlington to meet with all of the health leaders. So Nicola has kindly pulled together a wonderful array of, including the chief exec of the North East and North Cumbria NHS and various academics. And we're going to the Horizon Centre in Darlington to showcase that venue. And then there's a series of other things going on.
Excellent. So you've got a very, very busy day ahead. And the ambassador himself, Ammar, is he staying at the consulate? Are they going to stay in Newcastle for a few days?
Yes, so they came up yesterday. They're staying at the Vermont. I have actually mentioned Kai as a obviously as a venue, as a on a multi-award-winning venue that they should consider. And then the meeting with the universities and various others over the next few days, and then they're at the match, is what they
Oh,
are.
excellent. Well, anyone that does come into Newcastle, they must experience St James's Park, especially at the moment, because it's just incredible.
No, thank you. I have invited, because I sent the link to the Consul General for our radio show. I have invited them onto the show, so they may appear sort of surprisingly. Don't know if they will or not take up that offer. Obviously, Bunty and Nicola simply didn't have a choice. They were just sort of put onto the show. So let's probably hear from Bunty. How is the Malhotra group? What's going on?
Well, I think we're truly blessed to be calling ourselves as adopted Jodies. My family been here for a number of years now, and when I say number of years, my brother came to this country nearly 45 years ago, and my maternal family probably been here pre-independence of India, nearly 80 years ago. So some of our family members, third generation now, and Malhotra Group currently is going strong, doing well in all three sectors that we operate in, which is care, leisure, and property. In care, which is reported to me, we have just over 1,200 staff now, and 18 different units operating. One of the very few companies in the country who've got 18 homes portfolio, with all being either outstanding rated or rated good in every domain. Very proud of that. Our leisure is doing well. My nephew reports that, and property has, I think, just started to emerge from the dip that this country had. So Malhotra Group, very, very proud to be a group that associates with Newcastle and Northeast. And as such, when there was an opportunity for the ambassador to visit Newcastle and Northeast after 40 odd years, is the first visit, I understand. We took the opportunity and thought, India as an emerging and a very powerful nation in terms of trade, growing economy, bucking the trend. I think it is a good opportunity for local businesses, be it our university, be it our medical facilities. It is a very good opportunity for business to showcase to the Indian government as to what is possible within the realm of possibilities. We are always have had tremendous workforce in Northeast. I can see clearly, not very distant future, a lot of job creation through this innovation and these sort of trips. And I hope these becomes more of a routine.
Wonderful. Thank you. Nicola, if I may hand you the microphone.
Thank you.
And tell us a little bit more about your organisation, how you're saving lives and creating and generating wealth for livelihoods.
So ultimately, thanks, Matt. Ultimately, our organisation is set up to support innovation in the health service. So this could be kind of any type of innovation. We did an awful lot during the course of the pandemic. So we led a program called the Oximetry at Home. So if you were a vulnerable person and you turned up at a test centre and you were diagnosed with COVID, you were given a pulse oximeter where you would measure your blood oxygen levels at home. And should they fall below a certain level, then a nurse would turn up at your door with steroids. And that prevented a lot of people from going into hospital and really deteriorating. So we work with clinicians on the front line. Our role is predominantly to support them with their ideas, their new innovations, but also to look at the challenges that they have. So on Wednesday, Ammar and I kindly led a session with 200 school children where we looked at an unmet need around cancer prevention and the uptake or the lack of uptake of the HPV vaccine, which in the future, if young females and males accepted this vaccine, could potentially eradicate cervical cancer in females. So that injection has to be administered at 12 years old. There are many barriers to that vaccine, but ultimately it will save lives. So we used the school children themselves, their creative minds, to try and look at what are the barriers and how could we produce a digital means to promote awareness of cancer, and also for people to start talking about cancer more openly. It's a very taboo subject. So yeah, and the other part of our role is to kind of support industry to get access to the NHS. So if anybody's got a medical product out there that they're looking to get evaluated in the health service, then that's what our organisation does. And ultimately, if you support growth, then the health of your population will improve.
Are you one of those organisations that people may not be familiar with, but you sort of do a lot behind the scenes? Alongside that example there, you have developed what has been described as the innovation pathway. Do you want to explain that, particularly to people who may not be aware of what an innovation pathway is and the importance of it?
Yeah, no problem. So yeah, I think that's kind of the problem with our organisation, that we're a government-led initiative. There's 15 of us in the country. I represent Chief Executive of the organisation that represents North East North Cumbria. But in the NHS alone, my remit is to try and support 168,000 staff, which is quite difficult to try and to get kind of promote awareness of our organisation. So and ultimately you can't always track each clinician's discussion with industry, etc., in the health service because it's just so vast. So so our role is, like I said, to support innovation, and as part of that, we try to simplify it. So several years ago, we came up with a concept called the innovation pathway, where we can support innovators from the NHS themselves or from the private sector, support them with their ideas right from ideation through the development. We can support the protection of intellectual property through the regulatory approval, onto evaluation in a real world setting, and then ultimately support the adoption thereafter. So we're hoping with time that the innovation pathway will become a recognised brand for the North East, and can help us secure government funding. And you know, we really need to celebrate the unique assets of what we've got here and the unique infrastructure. Sorry, they're just discussing driving.
We're gonna unless the ambassador managed to join yet. Has anyone else joined?
No, Ammar, there hasn't been.
Okay, so in which case, we're going to disappear. Vikas Kumar is going to be dialing in at 10:30 to talk about the amazing Holi festival that is taking place over the weekend. You know, clearly being coordinated with this visit, and we're going to leave it there unless you have any immediate questions, Jalf, Arthur.
No, I think it's been great to get that insight for our listeners. I think they have been pleasantly surprised, but maybe have a safe journey wherever you're going to, and we'll obviously have Vikas on soon, and hopefully we'll catch up with you all soon.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Want me to hang up?
Okay, well, that was a pleasant surprise.
Yes.
So it seems to be that they're getting on with some really, really interesting developments with having the ambassador here in the region, and it can only be a good thing for the future of the region, because if they do put their weight into it, as Bunty said, the investment that we could benefit from in the area could be significant, which is what we want as a local operator, to make sure that the Northeast is constantly growing and working and partnering up with international organizations, especially with some, as Bunty also said, something with an emerging nation such as India, because there's so much that we can give the world. So I think there's a lot of good people locally that are involved, and hopefully they will do what they do, and it will lead to a huge positive outcome for the region in the next months and years to come.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it sounds like they've got a packed schedule for the few days they're up here. So
yeah, that's good. And I think they will get a real feel of Newcastle if they spend a few days, and especially they'll get I think the football is such an important part of the city, because it shows the passion of the region, not just in sports, but just within the people, the strength and resilience of the Geordies. And I think, that is really, really important as well, because the workforce that we have in the region is huge, and a resilient workforce, which is really important characteristic to have, because that ultimately leads to more efficiency, better productivity, and all of those other things that are important when you are wanting to invest or looking for investors in the region. So hopefully they'll leave with a really, really positive feeling on what Newcastle has to offer them.
yeah, I hope so. Who's playing this weekend? Who are they going to see?
It's Newcastle against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Obviously, we're as a football club, we're going through a little bit of a lull, if you can say that. We're still in 6th position, but we have been in the top 4 for a number of months. So it's a little disappointing that we've moved out of the top 4. And those that don't know, the top 4 is a really significant position, because it gives you the right to kind of be in the Champions League, which is the biggest footballing tournament, second probably to the World Cup. So the Champions League is a huge tournament where all the best teams around Europe, they enter, from the likes of Real Madrid and Barcelona and Juventus and PSG and Bayern Munich, to name a few, along with obviously the big guns in the UK, whether it be Chelsea, Man United, Liverpool, Arsenal. So it's the tournament where you're guaranteed lots and lots of income as well, like in the millions, like tens to 20 to 30 million, even more so if you get to the back end of the tournament. So that is really important. I mean, we're still not out of it, but I think we need to get onto a winning run, which we will do hopefully from Sunday. It's a Sunday kickoff at 4:30, and it's going to be televised as well. So yeah, hopefully we can. It's a home match, and that's all we've got to fight for now, because the distraction of the Carabao Cup is out of the way. So hopefully the team's going to be mega focused, and we're going to put on a great show for the ambassador himself.
Yeah, let's hope so.
So yeah, that's only a couple of days away, and after that, I think Newcastle have got one more home match, which is next week, which is actually on a Friday. They play Nottingham Forest away, so it's not a home match, it's an away match. And then after that, they go off to Dubai, because it's going to be international break. So an international break means that when the international football teams around the world, and they have a break for about 2 weeks or 10 days or so, and they have the international matches, meaning that the club football is put to a stop. I think we have Vikas here.
Yes.
Morning.
Good morning, Vikas. Can you hear us okay?
I can. How are you doing?
Excellent. Yeah, brilliant, Vikas. It's great to have you on. Just to let you know, Ammar is left us because he's got more important people to kind of see than myself and Martha. So
yeah, I've just heard he's in a car somewhere.
Yeah,
look, the wonders of technology, yeah.
Yeah, of course. So he's with the ambassador, who's here for a few days, which is really great for him to. And Bunty and Nicola to show them the best of Newcastle, which is what I'm sure that they're going to do. And I'm not sure if you're going to get a chance to catch up with them over the weekend or not, Vikas, but maybe you can tell us what you've got planned in the next few days, because I hear you got lots of exciting things that you're bringing to the city.
Yeah, so so it's part of GemArt's program. For those who don't know, I'm Vikas Kumar, and I'm CEO and director of Gem Art, and we're an art organisation based here in the northeast of England, and we programme South Asian and culturally diverse arts with regional, national and international artists, with big venues like the Sage Gator, Baltic, but also equally we work very much so in the community, with the community, for the community and by the community. So it's really about celebrating South Asian culture in all its forms, you know what I mean? And we work quite collaboratively with Jalf as well at Dabawal during our Masala Festival. But this weekend, so this week we're celebrating the Holi Festival, which is a major South Asian festival that's celebrated across the South Asian diaspora, really. And it's a Hindu festival, but really it's more than that. It's for all faiths and none as well. So Holi is essentially a celebration of spring. You wouldn't think so with the snow in the background, like, would you?
Well, maybe it's when it started, because they didn't think that Holi Festival is going to stretch all the way to the British Isles, right?
There you go. So essentially, it is. Well, March is, even, by our standards as well, it is spring. You know what I mean? So that's what it is. And so it's a celebration of love, new life, positivity, new beginnings, all those amazing positive things. And essentially, what we've got to celebrate that, tonight we're at the Sage Gator. So we launch our Holi weekend with a fantastic performance by an incredible sitar player called Jonathan Mayer. So he's going to play a rag called Rag Kafi, which is a celebration of Holi. So that's at the Sage Gator tonight. And that's going to be great. There's still a few tickets available, so if people want to buy those, you can do that online on the Sage Gator's website, or look at our website at gemarts.org. So that starts at 8 o'clock this evening. And then tomorrow we're at the Baltic. So last year this was soon after lockdown. Well, it was soon after, things started getting back to normality last March, really, wasn't it? And it was the first time that we did an outdoor event. And to be honest, it was really warm. Weirdly warm that day. It was about 25 degrees. Remember that?
I remember because.
Yeah, and it's a far difference to -3, whatever it was this morning, to 25 degrees that day. But it was just such a joyous event. I think we had about 4,000 people come throughout the whole event on the day as well. And it was, so part of the festival includes a big colour throw, and there's a huge throw and a cultural significance of that, and that happens at Baltic Square between 3 and 4 tomorrow. So we're doing that tomorrow, weather permitting. Like, obviously, if it's going to rain, you know what I mean, but we're not going to be able to deliver that. But the weather seems absolutely fine at the minute. And inside the Baltic, it's between 12 and 3 o'clock. We've got all sorts of activities for children, families. There's going to be art workshops going on. There's exhibitions that the Baltic already have. There's going to be Bollywood dancers, dole drummers, Indian classical dancers across the whole floors as well. And then we've also got the Hindu temple, Newcastle Hindu temple, that will be serving free food as well. So vegetarian food there, so that people come along. And we've got Spice FM DJs, like we've got Sandeep and other people as well from Spice FM DJing and MCing on the day as well. So there'll be lots of food, there'll be lots of amazing music. We've got dole drummers, and chai events are doing the decor for the event as well. So it's just a really fantastic family fun event for people to come along to. It starts at 12 o'clock and goes on till 4 o'clock. And basically it's all free. So between 12 and 3, you don't need a ticket for anything. You can just come to the Baltic, get involved, have a celebration inside there as well. You know what I mean? Bring the family along. Then between 3 and 4, we've got the colour throw on Baltic Square. If anyone seen the pictures of it last year, it was really amazing. And
it was phenomenal. I remember it all.
Yeah, and I think lots of people sort of said that it was probably one of the most authentic celebrations of Holi outside of India. Like, it was just incredible. Music, dance, colour throwing, and it was really joyous. So, and it's open to everyone, really. To be honest, the colour throwing element, obviously we've got to control numbers, so that bit is ticketed. It was free, but all those tickets were allocated. If people don't turn up for their tickets, we'll reallocate those to those that need that. But you know, that again, that's only if they're available. But you can come down, you know what I mean, and have and sort of just celebrate with everyone. It'll be really fantastic.
Vikas, is there a reason why you do have ticketed in the parts where you're going to be throwing the colours, just in case it spills over someone where they don't want to get colour on them. Is that right? Or
no, well, it's more so, right? It's like to control numbers, and also, I guess, because, well, with anything outdoor, you got to, there's health and safety. I'm going to sort of keep people's, because there was a lot of people that turned up last year, and that was the first time we did it. And I guess we weren't expecting that numbers, you know what I mean?
yeah.
So because there are the times there as well, you know, in terms of environmental factors as well, the powder that we use is completely organic. There's no chemicals in there, but still need to keep it a certain distance away from the time because we can't have colour run into there.
All right. Okay.
Environmental factors, and so the outdoor bit, that's controlled a bit in terms of the numbers, but inside the Baltic, you know what I mean, you know, that's open all day for everyone to come in, you know, well, between 12 and 3, and then, you know, and then outside it's 3 to 4. So we've got that. So we're really looking forward to welcoming people, and it's all free as well. So
I remember last year, because I could spot lots of people that you could recognize that they had been to the event, because you could see the joy on their faces, but they could see all the color all over them. And so that was a marker, and that's why I remember it really, really well. And I can't believe, though, that was a year ago, because it just doesn't feel as though that it was a year, because it only feels like the other day. So hopefully there's going to be a lot more of the same. We're going to see a lot more people making a lot of people happy, and a lot of color will be in the air in the Baltic on Saturday.
Yeah, it was great that, again, you know, Ammar came along as well with his family last year as well. We also had, you know, the mayor, and we had the mayor of Newcastle and in Gateshead as well. We had the Lord Lieutenant, and we've got lots of other people that are coming as well, you know, people from the police and things this year as well. So I guess part of it is for them to also interact and sort of engage with communities as well, you know. And I think what was really significant about this particular festival and this event last year is that it attracted a lot of Indian or South Asian international students, and it has here as well. So I work with Newcastle University Tamil Society as well, who are going to be performing there, and they've sort of, you know, and again, they've marketed through their student networks, Sunderland student networks as well. There's also Middlesbrough and Teesside. So various student bodies, South Asian student bodies, sort of brought coaches and buses down last year, and we're expecting that this year as well.
I think you're going to get a lot of that, judging by the CVs that we get across the restaurants. I think the whole of South India is in Newcastle at the moment, or a big portion of them. So I'm sure they're going to come and rock up on Saturday, and support the event. I would get ready for big numbers on Saturday, Vikas.
No, and they brought the vibe, you know what I mean? Totally did. Young, sort of absolutely with, you know what I mean? They were just dancing and like, and I think it just made the event, to be honest, last year. So if any of them are still listening, we're looking forward to welcoming you as well, and just do what you did last year, but, you know, on a bigger scale. You know, I'm sure the weather will be fine. You know, this is
well, that's the thing, because on the weather, I think if you think about it slightly differently, whilst you would probably love a hot day, sunny day, but imagine having an event. It's kind of quite a paradox, isn't it? Having a holy event with snow around you. I think that would be quite an interesting. It would be quite interesting to capture that in actual fact, and imagine the memories that's going to bring in itself to those that haven't seen snow. So I think it could all be work out in a positive way also.
Yeah, very unique, I guess.
Brilliant.
And also, like, again, so if anyone wants to find out about any of our events or any of our program, added to that as well, just to say, like, we've been working with lots of community groups as well, because a lot of our work is in communities. So we've had professional artists with a whole range of communities, and they've created amazing decorations as well that will be displayed across the Baltic as well. So they're all going to be invited as well to see their work being displayed in an international venue. And if anyone wants to find out more about our work, if you go to our website, gemarts.org, you'll find out. We've got lots of other programs coming up over the. Can I give the other ones a quick plug while I'm on?
Of course.
So, in April as well, we've got another fantastic performance at the Sage Gateshead by a Kathak dancer, a tabla player and a sorote. That's on the 28th of April. And then on the 18th of May to the 20th of May, we've got a comedy theatre show coming to Northern Stage called Happy Birthday Sunita which
Okay.
is essentially about the Johal family invites you to a surprise birthday party. So it's a drama that goes on within a Punjabi household before a party happens, you know what I mean? And so the mum's making roti and sort of putting the butter on the roti, making the samosa.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And then and there's drama going on everywhere, like who's coming and this, that, the other, family politics and stuff. But yeah, I think it'll be a fantastic show. So that's between the 18th and the 20th of May at Northern Stage, you know, and then on the 20th of May, we've also got at the Sage Gateshead, we've got an amazing Grammy Award-winning musician called Vishwa Mohan Butt, who's a slide guitarist. So he won a Grammy Award a few years back, and he'll be performing. We brought him here last time, a couple of years before the lockdown, and he's incredible as well. But have a look at the website. There's all sorts of stuff going on. If you want to get involved in any way, shape, or form, we're always there. And it's great as well that, you know, going back to the Indian High Commission, who's here as well. It just shows you like the vibrancy and the culture, and in terms of, you know, well, you know, Jalf as well, and Ammar as well, in terms of the, I guess the quality of the work that Gemmart's put on within the region as well, and bringing that international aspect, and also exchanging as well UK-based artists with India as well. And so if that's an opportunity that we can further develop going forward and showcase here within the region, but equally export out as well, because it is also about, you know, the great, you know, we've got fantastic young musicians, artists, dancers within the region and nationally as well, that we can actually sort of exchange and sort of develop, mentor with other artists in India as well. I think there's real possibilities and opportunities, and we got some, and like both Jalf and Ammar and yourself always sort of shout off, our region is incredible for the venues, for the hospitality, for the people. I mean, it is. And I think it is about sort of celebrating that culture, that identity, that South Asianness as well within us all as well.
Well, of course. And look, Vikas, we're very lucky that we have someone like yourself in the region, because if you wasn't here, then I don't think we would be benefiting from all these amazing things that you bring to the region. So we're very, very thankful that you are here with us in the region. And also the region is full of lots of amazing people also that do embrace everything that you do. So props to them also. But yeah, I think it's going to be a brilliant weekend, and hopefully you're going to get lots of our listeners that will be going and telling their friends, and hopefully it's going to be a packed out event as it was last year on Saturday.
Great. No, and hopefully see you all there as well. You know what I mean? Pop down between 12 and 4, yeah,
brilliant. All right, Vikas, really good to have you on the show, and
thanks so much, and also thanks for the support as well. Always nice FM. And everyone at ABC as well. Well done. Always.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mom. Take care. Bye.
Bye. So that was the amazing Vikas Kumar, who's been such a great ambassador for the region. He's been doing great events for a number of years, and as he said himself, and we can bet and vouch for what he does. He brings in quality artists. Some of them, they may not be well known within the mainstream audience, but they are real quality. And when you look into the pedigree of the people that they bring in, Grammy award-winning artists and many others, it's just brilliant for the region. It's something that, you know, only someone with the specialist knowledge that Vikas has, but it's not even about the knowledge, it's about the desire and the will to be able to make things like this happen, because it's not easy when you're a charity organization looking to find funding and bring, you know, and sell the Northeast to people that are based in all the different parts of the world. So he's got such a great skill at bringing great artists to the region that we are benefiting from. So thank you very much, Vikas, for everything that you do and what Gemmarts do. And as he said, those are thinking about what to do over the weekend. Well, there you go. You know exactly where you should be this Saturday.
Yeah, it sounds great. So much going on, even if it's cold.
Well, yeah, I think as I said, you know, it's something that they're going to embrace, because a lot of the certain sector, a lot of South Indian population or students are here in the UK at the moment. And it's probably you don't realize that they've never seen snow before.
Yeah.
So for them to be able to go to a holy event where you might be surrounded by snow, and imagine sending those pictures to your friends and family in India. Oh look, I'm celebrating Holi, and look, it's snowing in the UK at the moment. It would be quite a cool thing to do actually. So I think, you know, the weather is the weather. Whilst you know, everyone kind of thinks, "Oh, I hope it's like a nice day," but hey, the snow sometimes, you know, it's got something quite unique about it as well. So yeah, I'm sure that's going to be really exciting. Martha, is there any other topics that you have in mind to cover? Because I'm going to have to cut the show about 10 minutes early today because I've got some meetings that I have to get ready for 11.
Yeah.
But do you have things that you wanted to talk about?
Well, we have a couple of events coming up next week that so we've got I know we've been talking about it, Adventure Builder program. So the residential for that's happening next week. I think we've got 15, 16 businesses, something like that, learning how to internationalize. So yeah. And then we have another event next week, a YOLO event, Discovery Day, which will be exciting. Looking at value propositions. Again, we've got another about 15 businesses doing that. And we have the Curry Club coming up. A lot of things. So the Curry Club is on the 30th of March. There's still spaces left, so please sign up. That is at Kingston Park, the 101 Regiment. Yes, I should probably have planned what I was going to say about them because there's a lot more information and I've sort of skimmed over them quite quickly.
Well, we can do it. We can do it over next week, can't we? Give an overview of exactly what's happening in the next few weeks. Yeah.
Trying to think if we've got anything else going on. We definitely do.
Yeah.
But
well, yeah. I think that would be sufficient for now to get people to line up what they're going to do at least until the end of this month. So I think we've covered quite a lot of interesting points. We've had some it was great to hear from Bunty and Nicola. I mean, Bunty, you don't really see or hear of him too much in public, but there's such a big organization, such an important part of the city, what they do, the venues they have and the people that they employ, and everything that Nicola's doing. It seems to be, again, a small organization, but very, very Northeast focused, which is always great to hear of and get to know of people that are really supporting the Northeast. And of course, we've talked about Vikas and everything that he does, which is amazing for the city. So all in all, hopefully it's going to be a really positive weekend for Newcastle, with everything that's going on, with the ambassador being here also. And hopefully it's gonna lead to a lot of contacts that are gonna be beneficial for the region in the shorter and longer term.
Yes, definitely.
Brilliant. Well, I think on that note, Martha, maybe we can call it a day today. It's great to have you on again, filling in for Ammar whilst you can go and entertain a lot more important people than us. And I'll catch up with you next week, possibly. Yeah.
Who knows?
Brilliant. Excellent. All right, Martha.
Nice to see you.
Catch up with you soon. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.